Hey guys, this is Stu from Stuart Scale Models, and basically I'm doing the inbox review of Airfix's recently released 1/48 Curtis P40B Warhawk. This kit is a super little kit, guys, I have to say, and I actually got it at the Telford show last week from Wonderland Models for the pricely sum of $18.99, and I have to say it is an awesome looking little kit. I would put it on the same level as the Hawker Hurricane, which I built last year. So if you want to go out and get one, do. I heartily recommend it. The actual aircraft depicted in the kit is one of two. This is of Second Lieutenant Welch's aircraft, which was one of two pilots that actually managed to get off the ground and defend the island, and actually down, I think, about 3 aircraft during the course of the attack on Pearl Harbor, which, as we all know, in a couple of weeks' time celebrates its 70th anniversary. It was a very robust little aircraft. It wasn't as highly manoeuvrable, admittedly, as the Zero itself or the then Messerschmitt ME 109, but it always took a lot of battle damage and would be ensured it would get its pilots home. It was not only used in the Pacific, but it was also used here in Europe, in England with a few RAF squadrons, as well as out in North Africa during the early processes of that campaign, and did very well, actually. Anybody who wants to get hold of this kit, obviously the kit number is ASAO5130. That's AO5130, if you can get that into shot. Sorry, it's a bit out. Sure, there, I don't know why it's not focusing. There you go. Okay, so if you want to freeze frame that, by all means do so. Okay, on the side of the box here you've got the two colour options. One of the 15th Pursuit Squadron, which was based at Wheeler Field, and then obviously one of the Flying Tigers, which was based out in China during the early processes of that campaign. Right, without further ado, we'll have a look and see what's inside the box. First off, obviously, familiar instruction sheet, which comes with a fairly thick pamphlet. Obviously, you've got all the history of the aircraft in around about 4 or 5 languages, specifications of the aircraft on the side there, then all the various symbols during the process of the assembly, which you see there, and then obviously the first process, as is normal with an aircraft, is the cockpit tub. And obviously you put the control stick onto the cockpit floor, the rear plate to the back here, which I think is to protect the pilot. Then you've got the frame and then the seat go together, and then onto the back part of the actual cockpit, and then put in the front column, or actually the I think it's the front column, or is it the actual cockpit wall? Side panels, which you've got a colour guide to, and then add the side panels to the tub, as you can see here, with various sub-assemblies. The other side goes on, etc. And once the cockpit tub is done, you add the control column, which you've got a colour guide and a decal for, if you want to put the decal on. I myself will do the same sort of thing I did with the Hurricane, basically paint that, dry brush it, and then just mimic the glass with some clear, and then you add that in. And also is supplied a pilot, which is most unusual for a 1/48th aircraft, but there, nevertheless, you have it as there. Then obviously you've got the side camera position, which goes in with the door, clear panel on the other side of the cockpit, and then add the tub to the sidewall, and then assemble the filter, the engine filter for the radiator duct, put that inside the fuselage half, which you see positioned here. Then you've got the housing for the propeller to go on, the glass side panel, and then put the two fuselage halves together. Okay, then you put in the bottom part of the nose to the radiator ducts, and then you've got obviously the ammunition racks, and it's telling you to cut these 2 sprues off. Okay, then you put the machine gun bays on the engine covers onto the front of the nose there, add the Browning machine guns on, side panels for the wing to go onto the fuselage halves. Then the internal detail of the undercarriage bay goes in, and it's telling you to drill 2 holes there for the stand if you want to buy that separately. And then add the lower part of the wing to the fuselage. The radiators, front housings for the undercarriage bays go on. The top part of the wings goes on. Then the assembly of the tail planes. Tail planes onto the tail unit at the back there, along with the elevators and the rudder. Okay, and apparently you can actually move them as well. Okay, trying to keep this in focus, it's a nightmare at the moment. And then you put the rear of the radiator duct onto the radiator. Okay. Then you've got the alternative of having the rear nose wheel housing doors shut if you want it in flight mode, and then obviously you've got it with it open as well. Okay, then you've got the assembly of the 2 undercarriage units which go into the wing along with the closed undercarriage bay if you want it in flight mode. Then the undercarriage goes into the bay if you want it up, along with another part of the undercarriage, giving you the colour indications. And again on the other side, which you see here, gear bay doors go on, and it's showing you the angle that they actually sit at here, as you can see with the other side as well. Then add the wheel column along with the tyre, and it is flat spotted to give it that accentuation of weight of the aircraft. Okay. Final processes is the assembly of the actual propeller, as you can see here, along with the fitment of the pitot tube and the Browning machine guns, exhaust stubs and the propeller. Then also you've got the side panels for the actual glass cockpit along with the gun sight, and you also have the alternative of having the cockpit closed or open. I'm going to leave it open. Okay, and that's the assembly process done. And then obviously the first option in this kit is of the aircraft flown by George Welch of the 47th Pursuit Squadron, 15th Pursuit Group, Wheeler Field, Oahu, December 7th 1941. All the colour call outs there. Okay, and then the second one is of Robert R.T. Smith's 3rd Squadron, Kunming, China, 1942 Flying Tigers version. Okay, so that's that. Now we get on to the essential crux of the matter, which is the kit itself. So, you've got one bag full of 3 sprues, which you see there, all neatly packed. I don't think this is a good idea, to be honest with you, because some of these parts can actually sort of scratch each other in comparison to it. And yeah, admittedly the clear parts are packed separately, but come on guys, you could have done this in 3 separate bags, you know. There you go. Right, let's have a little look and see what the contents are like. Okay. Let's have a look. Right, first sprue is the fuselage halves and the top wings, and again, beautiful level of detail on there, lovely fine recessed panel lines, very crisp and clear as you can see here, beautifully moulded. I'd say that's definitely a 10 on that score. And obviously you've got the front housings for the undercarriage bays, and then the bottom part, the air filter here, which you can see, housing for the propeller, and that's your radiator there, air ducting. And even on the front, I don't know if you can see that guys, there's some nice little detail which will look nicely with a little bit of dry brushing there. Okay, top of the wings, very nice detail, panel line detail, which you can see here, very crisp and clear, beautifully done. Okay, and even the undercarriage bays, not much detail in them, but I don't think they were on the genuine aircraft either. Okay, second sprue, you've got the side detail for the side walls here, if I can get it into shot. Sorry, it's a bit out of focus here, guys. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? There's a nice bit of dry brushing and detailing can be done on there. Even the actual control column, which you can see here, is beautifully caught. Lovely detail. It's definitely a 10. And even the rivet detail on the actual armour at the back plate there, very nicely done. And obviously with the two options, you've got the two options of different seats. Okay, so you'll have to do your research on that, guys. Okay, and then obviously you've got your pilot here, which is nicely detailed. Nice level of detail here, but obviously I won't be using him anyway. And then you've got the air ducting there. Nice little control side panel here for the sidewalls. Okay. And various parts of the undercarriage and the wheels, nicely caught. As you can see here, even the wheel hubs are nicely caught as well. Beautifully done. That's that. And then obviously you've got the housing for the side panel on the fuselage half. There again, level of detail on that is beautiful. There you go. And obviously you've got the back plate here. Again, nice level of detail here. Get it into shot. You can see here, beautifully caught. And actually I'll show you the internal details, the framework inside the fuselage of the actual kit. Very nicely caught, guys. Isn't that beautiful? Very nicely done. There you go. And then the final sprue is obviously the lower wing. You can see again, is beautifully caught with the familiar shape of the P-40's wing. Absolutely exquisite. And I love the fabric detail and the ailerons here as well. I don't know if you can see that, guys. There you go. And even with the tail planes and the rudder, beautifully caught with the fabric. There you go. Isn't that gorgeous? And lovely fine panels, recessed panel lines on the actual tail planes themselves. And even the hub is very well caught on the propeller. Beautifully done. Not one part of any part of flash, and the propeller is faithfully reproduced as well. So there you go. And even on the gear bay doors, the rivet detail on that, if I can get it in the shot, sorry about this, is really beautifully reproduced. Absolutely exquisite. So that's that. And then obviously the last part, which I'm not going to take out of the bag. I don't know. I think it's resealable actually, guys. No, it's not. Again, because I don't want it to get damaged, beautifully clearly reproduced. As you can see, they've got two options, one with the cockpit open and closed. Absolutely clear as daisy, and obviously whichever version you're doing, you've got two alternate parts of the front part of the cockpit. So there you go. So that's that. Let's put them back in the bag. That's that. Put them back in the box, and then finally we've got the kit decals, which obviously are produced by Cartograph, and they are beautifully reproduced, as you can see there, and should bed down beautifully. And there's even some edge detail there for all the side panels, etc. I personally love it. As I say, if I should get another one of these, I should do it in the Flying Tigers version. But again, even on the actual decal for the actual control column, that is beautifully reproduced as well. Very exquisitely done. So guys, this is well worth buying. I really cannot heartily recommend this kit enough. And for what you're getting, it's very good value for money, to be honest with you guys, and should build into a beautiful looking kit. So that's my inbox review of the Curtiss P40B Warhawk. Hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, leave your comments and subscribe. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Anyway, until the next time, get kit crazy, happy modelling, and I'll speak to you soon.